Welcome, travelers, to PA's Nightmare Wednesdays. As always, welcome to my realm of nightmares. Allow me to be your personal assistant in my realm. Come in, take a seat, get comfortable, for when you step into my realm, there's no stepping out. Come to Nebraska, she says. It will be fun, she says. Well, who the hell is having fun now, huh? I said to my wife as we trudged through the fields, looking for our other companion. Just as we exit one cornfield, it's another, and then another. For crying out loud, how many bloody fields are in this ungodly state? I asked my wife, but I got no reply. Rebecca? Rebecca, where are you? No reply. I swear, if you are playing with me, I will. The next thing I know is I hear screaming coming from the field where I just saw Rebecca last. I darted back into the cornfield, guided by the screams, stalks of corn smacking me in my face. I finally got to the location where the screaming was coming from, but no one was there. Blood poured from where the stalks of corn had smacked my face, but my only worry was finding Rebecca. Looking around the area, I found a box hidden behind some corn. Who the hell would leave a box out here? And why the hell would they be playing a loop of my wife screaming? As I asked this, the realization of how they got the recording of my wife screaming caused the color to drain from my face. If they have her, then do they have Anthony as well? I thought this to myself. As I stood there, wondering what to do next, I heard movement to the left. Someone was trying to quietly move through the corn, but once they realized I had heard them, they took off running. I ran after them, but they were faster than I was, and by the time I emerged out of the field, no one was around. Who are you? Where are you? Why are you doing this to us? I yelled on the brink of tears. I stood there in silence at first. I heard nothing, but slowly, a laugh could be heard. Quiet at first, then it increasingly got louder, until it sounded like it was coming from everywhere around me. More speakers, I wondered, but I did not have time to think about that, as the men in white jackets and face masks came for me. I ran into one of the cornfields, away from the men in what appeared to be medical attire. Why were they after me? What will they do when they capture me? I can't let that happen. I must find Rebecca and Anthony, get them out, and get out of here, I thought to myself. These thoughts fueled me, kept me moving, kept me motivated, even when my lungs burned and my legs threatened to give out on me. I ran with no direction in mind. I just ran and ran and ran. I could not figure out where my car was any longer, as the laughter distorted my sense of direction. But I figured at some point I'd have to run into a barn, a farm, or just anyone on the road for that matter, after what felt like hours of running from one field to another, in hopes of keeping myself hidden from the men that were trying to catch me. I came to a barn. It was run down and faded red, but it looked like that barn could have recently been used by somebody. And if that was the case, hopefully there'd be a farmhouse somewhere close by, so I went to explore it. Getting there, it was in worse shape than I first thought. The wood was rotten, and the roof was more or less caved in. It was clear that no one had used this place for anything in years. I went inside to look for anything useful, or even something I could use to defend myself with. I found a rusted hand scythe. It's like a normal scythe, but just a lot smaller. I don't really know what they use these things for, but I imagine cutting corn stalks or something like that. But for now, this will have to do. It's at least nice to have some sort of weapon to use against the men in the medical garb. I think you went this way. I found some tracks leading from the field to the barn. Let's split up if you find him. Be careful. I want him brought back to the facility unharmed. You understand me? The man finished. I could only assume that he was the leader of the group. And the facility was where they held Rebecca and Anthony. So I hid in the corner, covered in shadow, hoping that would keep me hidden enough. But the second man rounded the corner, He spotted me, so I did what I had to. I shoved the scythe in his throat, killing him instantly, and before he could make a sound, blood shot forth, covering me in warm, sticky liquid. I wanted to vomit, but I didn't have time to even fully appreciate the gravity of what I'd just done. I heard the men shouting and gathering near the barn. I never wanted to hurt anyone, just find the people I cared for. But here I am, in the middle of nowhere, standing over a dead body, and no time to waste. I looked around the barn and found a hole in the wall close by. I figured I could squeeze through the hole and make a run for it. Not moments after I'd finished crawling through the hole, I heard them enter the barn, and one of the men shouted to the other, "He's armed with some kind of weapon. He cut Jim's throat. For Christ's sake, he cut Jim's throat." The guy sounded angry. Good. You fucking deserve to lose a friend after taking my family from me. I took off running and heard them yell, "There he is! Get him! We gotta get him back before he hurts anyone else," the leader stated to the rest of the group. I ran for maybe 10 minutes until I found a farmhouse. It must have not been very late, since there were still lights on inside. I ran to the house and pounded on the door, yelling for help. After 2 or 3 minutes, someone finally opened the door. Unfortunately, I seem to have forgotten something very important. I was covered in blood. I heard the man approach the door. He slowly opened it. The second he saw me, he slammed the door in my face and locked it. "Go away! Get off my land!" The older man shouted through the newly locked door. Sir, I'm lost and hurt. Can you please help me?" I pleaded. "I said go away, or I'll shoot you." The next thing I knew, I heard the all-too-familiar sound of someone racking a shotgun. "Sir, if you could at least tell me which way to get to the highway, I will gladly get off your land. There's no need to use violence here, sir." "Walk east, about 5 miles. You will reach the main road. Now leave," he said in a tone that left nothing up for debate. So I left the house and walked for the next 45 minutes to an hour. I then walked north looking for my car. Not 10 minutes of walking down the road, I was surrounded by cops and the guys that had been hunting me this whole time. They drew their weapons and told me to get down on my stomach. I did as they ordered. And the next thing you knew, I was in handcuffs. I started to struggle to try to get free, and then my world just went dark. The next time I woke up, I was in a familiar place, but I could not place why. The room was white, and the environment smelled overly clean, sterilized even. I went to rub my head where I'd been struck by one of the officers, but quickly realized I'd been handcuffed to the bed. "What the hell? Why am I cuffed? I was just defending myself." I yelled this as I tried to struggle free. Why the hell would the cops arrest me and not hear my side of the story? As I was in the middle of trying to figure everything out, in walked in one of the men that had been hunting me. "Mr. Jackson, so good to see you're awake. How are you feeling? Do you remember me and where you are yet?" He asked me. Honestly, he even seemed kinda concerned about me. "All I know is you killed my wife and my friend, you bastard. I'm gonna get out of here, and when I do, I'm gonna kill you," I shouted as I struggled against my bonds. As I struggled, in walked Anthony and Rebecca. "What? How are you two alive? What are you doing with this monster? Why would you sell me out to this man? I thought you guys loved me." "You fucking bastards! If I get out of here, and if I ever see you again, I will kill both of you." I felt a sharp pinch in my arm, and I was out. "I'm sorry, you two. I was hoping he'd be out of his episode by now. Let him rest, and we'll see if he's feeling better when he wakes up next time." Anthony escorted Rebecca out of the room and to the waiting room. Rebecca was crying. What is happening? Just put him back," she said in between sobs. "I know you do, and I do as well. All we can do is wait and stay by his side. I'm going to go get him a change of clothing and some things from home to hopefully jog his memory." Anthony hugged her and left. Hours must have passed by until I woke again. But this time, I remember it all. I remember killing that man, escaping this hospital, stealing the car, all of it. I pressed the button to call the nurse, and I asked if I could see Rebecca and Anthony. They came in, and I apologized to them. Of course, they said it was not necessary. I knew my Alzheimer's was the cause of everything. I'm sitting here writing this because my therapist said it would be good therapy for me. Writing it out, getting it in the open, I still feel guilty for having killed that man. So just a tip to anyone that may read this: if you're feeling disoriented, having memory loss, or just getting confused, get checked out. It does not matter your age. I'm only 34, and I'm in a high security mental ward for my safety and the safety of others. Tonight's story was called Fields for As Far as the Eye Can See, written by myself. If you enjoyed this story, why not check out Creepy Cody's channel? His links will be in the description below. He makes great content and is also a fantastic author. Please do check him out and tell him PA sent you. Well, I know we have not done this in a few weeks, so decided to bring it back. This week's word of the week is discombobulated. The definition is humorous, or confused and disconcerted. All the responses will be at the end of next week's video. Hey, did you know I have merch? Well, I do. Crazy, right? If you've ever wanted to walk around representing my realm and gaining new travelers, the links are in the description below. As always, I want to say a big thank you to my lovely Patreons. To 42 Reads, Pam, Seraphine the Midnight Bard, Creepy Clown Girl, Mia Mina, Philia Noctis, Hair Raising Narratives, and Spooky Boo's Scary Story Time. If you'd like to join these lovely travelers by light of my fire, you can do so by becoming a Patreon. The support is always appreciated, but never expected. Please do not forget to like, comment, and share, and subscribe if you're new, and ding that bell for all future content, as it will really help push this video out into the algorithm and help the channel grow. But as always, travelers, once you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.